Hey guys, welcome back to another CSGO edition of our esports content. Today we are getting into the slate a little bit earlier, which is awesome. Feel free to hit the subscribe button down below in the bottom right, and then you'll be notified right away when any of our content gets posted. So we are looking to add a Call of Duty breakdown as well today, probably a little bit later. But I did want to jump into the CSGO slate as early as possible. When the salaries are posted earlier in the day, it's a lot easier to start attacking it a little bit earlier. So I am going to break down the odds here first. As always, there's three moderate favorites here. MIBR coming in as the biggest favorite against Chaos at minus 280. Sorry about that. Mouse Sports coming in at minus 250 and Mad Lions at minus 175. So we will break down all three of those games, give you your best cash targets, give you some value that I think is pretty apparent on this slate. And then we can just kind of discuss some strategy and gameplay. If you get to watch today, Astralis losing 2-0 to G2, it was really enlightening to hear, especially the interview with Nexa and Device. Nexa obviously did not expect to win 2-0, just as their mindset type of deal. And the reason that they picked Dust 2 is just because they hadn't played Astralis on Dust 2 yet in the last two matches that they got completely destroyed. And then Device really kind of made it apparent that without Glaive, playing a map like Nuke, where he is very important, that it definitely stuck out during today's match against G2. The absence of Glaive, and that they really haven't practiced with Magisk being the new IGL. They haven't practiced, they said, since Road to Rio. They've been just trying to go off of individual play for these first two matches in the DreamHack Masters. So that's just something when you're looking forward to other things, like when we transition from tournament to tournament here, I think that if there's roster changes or something major like Glaive being one of the best IGLs in the world being out for 3 months, that does have an effect on a team like Astralis. I don't think there really was ever a reason you were going to fade Astralis, but I do think some people that leverage like Kenny S, that's and Hunter, that at those super cheap price tags, I think that definitely could be worth a GPP takedown. But as you're seeing, even in the game going on right now with Team Liquid and Furia, that Team Liquid is really playing really well, and I don't really know who you would have been paying up for while paying down for G2. I guess you could have paid for Elige, but he still has been he's really average on the first map, looking like a pretty average here on the second map. So I think all those things considered, let's jump into tomorrow's slate. Our first one with Complexity and Mouse Sports. And Mouse Sports has been, and if I pronounce that wrong, I apologize, but if we just look at Ropes and Frozen I think it's a Wazik, are the three top players on their team, the three top guys I would be looking here. They are a minus 250 favorite. And if I bring us over to kind of our team stats with those, with this lineup context, Ropes, Wazik, and Frozen. Ropes clearly having the highest kill to death ratio when this team has played together, but just in general, the top three. And Kerrigan is the IGL, so I don't even think in a sweeping fashion you really want to consider him. But I think Frozen and Wazik are viable as well. Wazik being a little bit more appealing at his price tag at 7,200 compared to Frozen at 7,800. So I think in cash games, I think Ropes is going to be really popular, and I think he should be a staple of your lineup. On the other side, I don't think Complexity is going to roll over in any means. This match could easily go 3 maps, especially the way that Mouse Sports has played in Road to Rio, where it was not very good at all. So you could definitely consider Blame F and Config and even Poison on the op, so I think, or on the AWP. I think Complexity is a decent GPP option. I don't know that I would really run any of them out in cash. Maybe Blame F would be worthy enough, but he is their IGL actually too, but is one of their leading fraggers on the team as well. So For them, I would consider here, ropes, and then probably Wazik or Frozen. Wazik being more of my favorite option based on the discounted price. So let's go over to our next game between Big and Mad Lions. And Mad Lion coming in as a minus 175 favorite, even though the pricing doesn't necessarily indicate that. Searson at 9,400 is by far clear away Big or BIG's best player. He's at 1.29 kill to death ratio in the last 3 months, which is pretty phenomenal. But they are coming in here as an underdog, and I think a part of that is who the teams that they have been playing at some lower level competition. So Mad Lions, I think we are going to start here with Bubsky at 8,600 is very viable. He has a 1.13 kill to death ratio. Then you go down to Sush, I think is how you pronounce his name. I like a lot at $1,000 discount here at 7,600. So I think, and he's owning a 1.16 kill to death ratio while also sporting a 0.74 kill per round. So I really like his underlying stats and the $1,000 discount you get on him. And then my favorite value of this matchup is Acor. Acor in his last 3 months at a 1.1 kill to death ratio with which has been pretty phenomenal. I think he is just under maybe a 0.67 kill per round. But even in this lineup, and I did take out Asilian, their IGL, out of this lineup just to get a better picture of what they're because with him in, the sample size is super small. He hasn't been on the team that long, but he is their IGL. So in this fashion, this gives me a little bit better idea of where we're sitting. And Acor leading this group when these four have played together. And his stat line is, not just overblown in a short period of time. So I think he is at 6,000, one of the best value plays of the slate. So I do like Sush and Bubsky. I like all three of these guys. I don't know that it'll be a sweep, but I think even in a competitive three-map win, I think these three could definitely reach or exceed their value on the slate. So let's head back here. I'm not really considering Tabson and Zanartes, I think is how you pronounce his name, are all their top three guys. Again, in GPP, I think they're definitely worth a consideration, but not something I'm really looking at in cash. So let's go to our last game between Chaos and MIBR. Chaos with the crazy match against Team Liquid with the reverse sweep after dropping the first map. We saw Zeppa just go crazy on map 2 with the 30 kill round, and John G with the 30 kill round on map 3. All in all, though, I think that you certainly would be leaning MIBRs here. And if you are going to consider one Chaos, I think Steel is probably the player you would be considering. He is their anchor cornerstone. But if you listen to Steel talk before the Team Liquid game, they've hardly practiced together. They have 2 new players on the roster. So I don't think that I don't see another heroic comeback or win as they had against Team Liquid. I think that was more of Team Liquid just kind of falling apart more than Chaos being, playing that really high level. So let's go to the MIBR side. Just kind of looking at their players falling at 10,000 was their best player in the Furia loss on the AWP. And then we have Fur at 8,800 and KNG here at 8,400. I think for the price discount, I definitely like KNG the best. But this is what's amazing. They were a slight underdog, and he was priced 5,400, which is why I considered playing him against Furia. Obviously, MIBR got stomped, and that didn't work out. Now his price has increased $3,000, and they are a minus 280 favorite. And I would consider him one of the best plays on their team. So I think, and this is with without TRK, who was just recently added. So this gave me a bigger sample size. You don't want Taco, but the other three, I mean, even in this fashion, are all pretty close. You know, with Fallen with the highest kill to death positive differential, KNG second for third. So I think, you know, if you rate them here by the kill to death, Fallen is definitely the best play. I just don't know if he's worth 1,600 more than KNG. Now, I think as even I talked about today, and Device obviously didn't pay off his price tag. That was pretty clear. But I think you have to take into consideration that $10,000 price tag relative to how the build fields. Don't just say, is he going to get 8X? Is he going to score 80 points? He meets his value. Because I think that you have to compare it if there's soft pricing. Today, there was super soft pricing with Furia being a favorite. Now, if this match continues the way it is, you know, a lot of those guys won't reach the value, even though they actually had better DFS performances in that first map. It's not really looking so clear here in the second map that it's going to go that way. I'm hoping it gets to a third map. But so if we look back here, I think you could, if you can make Fur and KNG work, then you skip Fallen. But if you can make Fallen and KNG work because the value you like on the slate, or you're willing to pay down in the captain spot, I think then that is viable. Fallen is not somebody though right now that I am instantly putting into my cash game lineups. I think I'll start with KNG and start with Ropes, and then start to build around there. Probably KNG, Ropes, and Acor, and then probably paying up for one more Mad Lions player. Probably, you know, potentially Wazik. So somewhere in that range is probably where that chalky cash lineup will probably fall. So I think you can kind of decipher and leverage which captain player you're using, because a lot of times in these builds where they become 2-2-2 or someone goes 3-3, the difference becomes that half captain spot and then a 1v1 in the flex somewhere. You know, Device today 80-90% owned. So I think if you want to be different, you try to get off the builds that end in 0, because I think that's always the way to find usually the chalk. Or if there's a player on the same team, if you end up with Fur, but you can actually, and you don't have KNG in your lineup, and you just eat the $400 to go to KNG instead of Fur, you know, that's a way to make your lineups different, especially in GPP formats. So that's kind of where I'll end today. Again, I think I love to see that the prize pools are staying where they're at. I think we are seeing a lot more people in the cash game lobbies. So I think the game is certainly growing, and we love to see people come to our Discord channel. You can go to fsidfs.com and click on the subscription plans and go to the free month of VIP, and that will get you into our esports channel. I am posting the core plays for it, the main slate, the late slate, and the showdown slate. And then you can also feel free to post lineups in there, and I can help you give feedback and things like that. So we really appreciate you guys coming on. Again, hit the subscribe button on the bottom. Go ahead and check out some of our other videos, and then be in tune for Call of Duty video coming out. I know we're going to have an awesome soccer podcast video for Saturday's big slate. There's already one up today for the showdown slate. That's tomorrow. We just got a ton of action going on, and it's kind of coming fast and furious. But that's what I really love about the sports opening up, and DK just being responsive to the needs and the sports that we do have available. So it's awesome to see. Hit me up on Twitter, hit me up in Discord, and I can get you squared away. Thanks a lot. Have a good day.